Okay, guys, it's open line. We got Coach Gruden here. Fire away.
Hey, John, I know scoring touchdowns and getting the ball over the goal line sometimes in those goal-to-goal situations can be pretty difficult. How satisfying was it to get it not just once but twice on the touchdown and the two-pointer to win this game?
Well, obviously very satisfying. That was the plan. That was the only plan. It's a credit to our whole team, though. You know, we had some really great moments today. We had some ugly moments. But like we always have seemed to do this year, we hang in there. Our defense gets us a stop. And our quarterback is as good as anybody I've been around in those situations. He loves the 2-minute drill. Zay Jones stepped up when Ruggs got hurt. Bryan Edwards stepped up when Aguilar got hurt. We got backup linemen playing. Lost almost our whole secondary today. I'm just glad we won the football game, but more than anything, I'm really proud of our team. We battled our brains out as much as we could, and we're really a couple plays away from winning every game in the division. So we've made some progress. We still have long strides to make, but I'm really proud of our team.
Hey, John, considering everything that happened this season with the virus and all the injuries and kind of the ups and downs of the year, how would you define this season as a whole for your team?
I think it's going to be a huge building block for us. We got mentally tougher. We learned how to adapt. Things aren't going to always be perfect. I mean, if we could ever enjoy a meal together again, it'll be a great, great day. Every day was different, and I credit all the people involved to make this season possible. It wasn't how we wanted to finish, but there's a whole lot of people that deserve a great amount of credit for us to even have a chance to compete like we did this year.
Coach, how satisfying is it for you, of all people, Darren Waller, to be the person to catch the ball to win this game and also break history today?
Well, I know Tim Brown. You know, I got a great history with him, and I know what an unbelievable player he was. And when you start throwing around Tim Brown's name and you say you're breaking Tim Brown's record, you're in rare territory. And then Josh Jacobs going for over 1,000 yards, back-to-back seasons, first time since Marcus Allen. It excites me to hear those names again. And then Derek Carr throwing for over 4,000 yards, first time no one's ever done that in 3 years in a row in Raider history. And our kicker broke Sebastian Janikowski, his all-time record. So there were some positive things that happened this season, and I'm going to enjoy the moment.
John, can you talk a little bit about this, just the progress that the team, I mean, it's only one game, but it's a game that it's a game that you hadn't won last year. You got 8 wins this year. Just, I guess, just the progress, despite it all, the youth and what you have on this team, but making those baby steps.
Well, we're excited. You know, we obviously are sick that it's over. You know, we didn't expect to lose that game last week. We felt we had a chance to beat the Chargers. You know, we had the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football late in the game. We got to learn from these things. We've got to improve our fourth quarter pass rush. We'll get into all the things we need to do later. But one thing this team does know how to do, they will compete. They will compete every week. They won 6 games on the road. I think it's been very uncommon in Raider history for teams to go on the road and win 6 times. So there's a lot to be positive about, and I'm just anxious to go home and get some sleep.
Hey, John, can you take us through kind of what was said in the before the play call on that 2-point conversion and what you guys were thinking with that one?
I think we changed our mind 3 times. We went from 3 tight ends and 1 back and 1 receiver to 3 receivers and 1 tight end and 1 back, and we ended up going with 3 tight ends and 2 backs and no receivers. And I just kept looking over there on their sideline. Fortunately, really for us, they used the timeout that they could have used at the end of that game. But Darren Waller, Derek Carr, what a combination it's been. It's fitting that we give the ball to Jacobs on 4th and goal, and we throw the ball to Waller to win the game. All right.
The Bryan Edwards that we saw in training camp, we haven't seen him a whole lot this year. How good was it to see kind of build that momentum going into the offseason?
Oh, it's great. You know, I'm glad you brought that up. So happy to get him in the end zone. He made a big catch to set up another score, I believe. He's going to be a great one. I mean, he is going to be a heck of a player. He's got a lot of the intangibles off the field that we're looking for. Obviously, Ruggs got hurt. We think we've got 2 good young receivers, and we're excited about them.
John, I guess given how everything has happened with the offensive line this year, it probably was appropriate that you had to be with your backups again today. But can you talk about just the offensive line being able to kind of answer that bell throughout the year this year?
Unbelievable, really. I mean, Trent didn't get a chance to do, I don't think, anything this year healthy. He played a few games, but never really was healthy. Richie Incognito played one full game, really. We went through a lot of guys. Colton missed 2 or 3 games. It's a credit to every one of those guys. It's a credit to our team. That just kind of summarizes the kind of work ethic that we have, and we got some things we got to get better at, and we're looking forward to getting started.
Hey, Jon, it's all about the team, obviously, and finishing with a win, 8-8, an improvement over last year. But on a personal level, what does it feel like for you to win a game in Denver? You were 0-7 going in there today.
Well, thanks a lot. It's great to settle that score. There were a few teams there where Mike Shanahan, he looked forward to seeing us come to town. They were great. And this is a great football factory here in Denver. Great tradition. The Raiders and Broncos and Chargers and Chiefs, proud AFC West. It's going to get exciting, I think, for years to come. And it was nice to win. I'm glad you said that. I'm going to have a Coors Light before I leave.
Let's do 2 more, Chris, and then Vic.
John, can I ask you again, just kind of your personal emotions as this season comes to an end? I know you'll do a season-ending press conference, but as you leave now, you're done with this season. What are kind of your personal thoughts or reflections right this second?
Well, I'm just sad. I'm emotionally very sad to see the season end. These are my friends. These are my only friends. But they battled, and I'm excited about the future, but I'll miss them. All right? You guys have a good one.
We good? Yep, we're good.
Hey, Josh, yardage was so hard to come by in the ground in that game for a while, and then it started to break loose for you. What changed?
We went back to the basic runs that we've been running all year. We kind of tried to get a little fancy in the beginning. We went back to the basics in the second half.
Hey, Josh, can I ask you a little bit about that final 2-point conversion? John mentioned just moments ago that there were like 3 different plays being called, and it was kind of commotion, a lot of commotion at the end. Just kind of take us through that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, we didn't know first. We didn't know the call. We didn't know the personnel. We had people running back in off the field, and when they called a timeout, they really kind of helped us with that because we would have been scrambling.
Josh, can you kind of walk us through that last drive? It seemed like you guys went out there with a lot of confidence and obviously moved the ball, and in an area of the field that's sometimes tough to score touchdowns, you got it. But can you kind of walk us through that last drive?
It was just the mentality that the offensive group had, wanting to start the year off strong and wanted to finish the year the right way. And we knew that we was going to get the opportunity to do that. We just try to come out and play our best football.
Josh, can I ask, the 2 Pro Bowlers on the team had a big influence in this game, a couple of touchdowns for you. Darren had a touchdown. He passes Tim Brown with the receptions on a single season. Can you talk about your play and Darren's play, the 2 Pro Bowlers?
I mean, Darren, man, he's a special player. He's one of them players where you're in the game and you catch yourself just watching him play. And, I mean, every time I see the ball thrown to him, you automatically think he's going to catch the ball. And, I mean, it's kind of like shocking when he doesn't. I mean, and that just speaks to his work ethic. I mean, coming in this offseason, he was one of the hardest working guys, whether it was in the weight room or getting treatment. Like, he was always in the facility. I mean, that's just something I try to steal from him. For myself, I honestly, in my head, I'm already thinking about next year and what can I do to take that next leap. I'm not satisfied with how I did this year and how the team did. Definitely the playoffs was definitely my goal, to at least have a winning record. So, I mean, for me, it's just how do I get the guys motivated? How do I get myself ready to take that leap?
Josh, we know your thoughts on individual accolades, and you don't really care about them, don't like to talk about them. But first, Raiders player with 2,000-yard seasons back to back to start a career. Like, does it mean anything to you to start these numbers that are building up for you?
I feel like, honestly, it's a bigger testament to my offensive line and my tight ends. of a great job that they've been doing to help me get there. I know a lot of the blame, whether it's good or bad, always gets on the running back, but I couldn't nearly do none of that without them. And we've been hurt a lot this year, especially at the offensive line position, and just to see the guys step up and still give the type of effort that I respected, So that was probably just the biggest thing for me.
Hey, Josh, on the touchdown run there at the end, right before the 2-point conversion, I think everybody was expecting you to do the Marcus Allen go over the top, probably even yourself. Did you kind of think about that? Did you have to not do it?
Nah, so I actually thought about that. So last time I played them, dude tried to hit me in the air when I jumped. So when I seen him, the backside linebacker step down, I knew that he thought I was going to jump. So I was going to press it. I already knew I was going to press it and then go outside and then challenge the smaller guy, which was the DB 101. And when I seen it, the DB, when I bounced out, was on the goal line, I knew it was a touchdown.
All set?
All right, Josh.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Good.
Appreciate it.
Okay, you guys, we got Darren Waller. Go ahead and raise those hands for questions.
Darren, how bad were you hurt on that play, and were you struggling through the rest of the game?
Yeah. I was in a good amount of pain. It took a while. Shout out to the trainers and the masseuses for working on me on the sideline. That helped me out and got me good enough to to play. But I was in some pain out there.
Darren, with the sort of a roller coaster of a season, and obviously the disappointment from last week and officially being eliminated, what was the talk among the players just before Jon comes in and gives his pregame speech, whatever it may be, as far as being able to go out, stay motivated, and come into this game with as much momentum as possible to be able to play your best game?
It's just sharing the message that you only get one game at a time. Whether it's week one or it's like this is the last game of the season. No matter how good, a guy like me or anyone, we're not promised another game. We only get one Sunday at a time, so you might as well make the best of it. Finish what you started. You can't go back in the past and change things, and you can't go into the future and live out next season before it comes. You just get one day at a time, and just be there and enjoy it to the best of your ability, and just maximize that day. That was the message in the locker room.
Darren, with everything that you've had to deal with personally over the past couple of years, would you say tonight breaking the reception record, would you say that this is the peak moment for your redemption story, or would you say that there's a lot more to come for Darren Waller?
I would say there's a lot more to come. This is a great moment, especially to someone of the caliber of Tim Brown. That is just incredible to even think about. But I feel like some of my greatest moments even come where people don't even think that they'd be like the peak moments. It's like games where maybe like a game where I didn't do much. I had 20-something yards, but it's just I'm able to still have the same mindset, and I know that when I go home at night, I'm not mad at anyone. I'm not feeling like things aren't going well. I still have the same consistent attitude, and I feel like that's when I'm most proud of myself, and it turns into nights like this, just staying prepared and still having the right attitude. So I'm definitely grateful for this moment, but I don't want this to be my greatest day as a Raider. I want it to keep going, and I want our team to have great days as well, and just to keep going from here. So I feel like this is definitely a great thing, but I want to keep going.
Hey, Darren, can you take us through the chaos before that last 2-point conversion? And was that kind of like a give me the ball kind of moment for you at that point?
That was the play Coach Gruden called. We put it in. We were not expecting the outside linebackers to be dropping because it was just a lot of traffic right there. It was just expecting a 2-on-2, just having Foster get a bit of a rub and have the slant come underneath, but there's a little bit more traffic, and Derek threw an incredible throw between guys' arms and stuff like that. And, we work on concentration catches all the time as tight ends and as a team, really. So it's just being able to maintain that concentration. That was just a great way for us to end this season, especially with the situation coming down the same way last season and then having it work this season. I think that was big for us.
Darren, John kind of talked about it earlier where how fitting was it that you guys win this game with the two Pro Bowlers making a huge difference there at the end with Josh running in for the touchdown and you the 2-point conversion. I guess just how satisfying is that you're able to cap a season, 8-8 season, obviously disappointing, but you're able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, winning feels good. Winning makes everything better. And if you're going to go out, we want to go out with a win. We want to go out on a positive note. And I feel like a lot of people contributed to that. Me and Josh finished with the ball in our hands on those last two plays, but a lot of people did a lot of important things to lead up to those last two plays. So it's just definitely a great way to end this season. It wasn't the success that we expected in the win column and the loss column, but a lot of guys improved. A lot of guys, gained a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge of things that, we can ruminate and meditate on to go forward and know how we want to get better.
All right. Thanks, Darren.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, we got Bryan Edwards. Go ahead and raise your hands for questions.
Hey, Brian, Jerry McDonald from the Bay Area News Group. I know it's been a long haul and you got hurt and got behind a little bit, but to do what you did in the last game, to put something on the, to get in the end zone and put up some big plays, how did that feel?
It was an amazing feeling, man. This year's been a struggle for me. I had some ups and downs, but, to finish and go out the right way, it's a great feeling.
Hey, Brian, this is Vic. Can you take us through the touchdown catch, the play, what you saw, and the whole thing?
It was just a double go. They were kind of playing a two-shell, and I got by the corner, and Derek Carr, he trusted me, he gave me a chance, and I made a play for him.
You kind of feel like this is maybe it's a positive way to go to the offseason, but you almost want to play again next week, like keep that momentum going a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a great feeling, man. I wish I can go out there and get another one, but, the season's still end, and, I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful for, the ups and downs and just the learning experiences this year came with, and I'm going to be prepared for next year.
Hey, Brian, what's it been like going through this with Henry, kind of leaning on each other? How have you guys helped each other get through this rookie season?
We've been kind of going through the same struggle, so, we've been there for each other, and we've been there to pick each other up. So, I'm extremely grateful for having him around, and, we've built a really great relationship.
Hey, Brian, what's it been like just to kind of sit there and watch Darren Waller do what he has done this season? He breaks that record, gets past Tim Brown with the receptions mark this season. What do you kind of learn from him, and what's it been like just kind of watching him this season?
It's been crazy, man, watching Darren, honestly. Like, the things he does in practice, the things he does and how he carries himself, like, in the game, it's crazy. I've learned a lot from the guy. He's a guy that works and doesn't talk a lot, and he makes a lot of plays, man. And I honestly took a lot from him.
Any more questions? All right, thanks, Brian.
Yep.
Maxx, I'm sure in the coming days you're going to think about this in broader terms, but can you see at the top of your head maybe some things this defense has to get better at to take that next step in maturation and improvement next year, where it needs to improve?
Yeah, I feel like as a defense as a whole, we got to be locked in, from start to finish. I feel like we have good moments, and then there's lack of focus, lack of detail, and lack of intensity at times, especially this year being, on the road and playing at home in front of nobody in an empty-ass stadium. Like, it's a lot different. So we had to find ways to find our own energy, instead of getting it from the crowd, which is a lot easier. So, I give our guys a lot of credit. This year wasn't exactly what we expected, but, I'm glad we got to finish it off the right way and, get a win here.
Maxx, they started 4 for 6 on third downs, but finished only converting 3 of their last 10. Was there anything in particular you guys kind of got going on third down the stretch there?
Yeah, on the back end, our DBs really stepped up. I thought they played great in moments, and as a front, I feel like we were good, doing a good job of mixing things up and getting pressure. Obviously it could always be better, but I think we really just played at our intensity level was just at a different level today, and I really enjoyed playing with my teammates today.
Maxx, does this in any way you think set things up maybe for next year at all, or is this more just a case of Damn, we've let some close ones get away. We weren't going to let it happen today.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's a good, a setup for, going into this offseason and going into next year. It was literally the same exact situation it was last year. It came down to our offense scoring and going for two, and we ended up not getting it, last year. But we did this year, and then they put our defense on the field. It was the same exact situation as the Chargers game, and we finished the game, and that's all that matters. We definitely don't make it easy on ourselves, but just to come out, beating Denver twice this year, you love to see it.
Max, something that's rare for a lot of the defense that you've been able to accomplish this year is start and play in all 16 games, and also you've played in all 32 games of your NFL season. Do you take pride in the durability that you've been able to display so far in the league, and what have you done in order to maintain that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's something I pride myself on, being just being a tough individual and being a grown man. Obviously everyone's going to go through certain situations and have little nicks and knacks here and there, but this whole season I've been banged up. I've had little things, bother me, but there's nothing that's going to take me off the field unless I absolutely can't run or, do what I can do on the field. So, they're getting, somebody who's going to play their ass off, every single game and play no matter what.
Hey, Max, last week you guys were on the field and the Dolphins had 19 seconds to go. Today, 24 seconds to go. What's that conversation like in the huddle after what happened last week? And lastly, how good does it feel to block a field goal?
Yeah, today I think I got two, and it was the first time I've ever blocked a field goal in my entire life. So getting two in one game was kind of crazy. I've been very, very close, and we've watched it on film, and Coach Bisaccia has been – he's been on me heavy about it. Like, how do you not get this? How you're so close, so close. And today, I reached and, got through the gaps, and I was happy I could help my team and, block those field goals.
Max, I was going to ask about that as well, but did you guys see something in their protection maybe that, you thought you could exploit there? Definitely.
There were some holes in their protection, and, some of their linemen are a little bit lazy on the protection. I'm not going to single anybody out, but you could definitely see it if you watch the film.
Any other questions, guys? All right, thanks, Max.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, we got Derek Carr. Put those hands up for questions.
Hey, Derek, can you walk us through the seconds leading up to that 2-point conversion and what was going on, and how long did it take you to sort of process that play in conjunction with the way last season ended?
Yeah, what's funny about that, Jerry, is right before that drive, I went to Coach. I said, "Hey, we're going to win this game, so get your 2-point play ready." And of course, every memory of Shelby Harris came into mind, of him batting the ball down. Shout out Shelby. Hope he feels better. But I think when we get down there and we score the touchdown on the run by Josh, great job by the point of attack, getting in there and him running it in. But we score on that, then Coach calling the personnel, and he called one personnel, and he goes, no, hey, let's go this. And it may have looked more panic than it was because we knew what play we were running, we knew what we were about to do, but then they called a timeout and gave us time to really get set. So it was nice, though. It was nice. Same area, you couldn't draw it up better, if you're like, hey, if you want to get, revenge on something from last year, this is probably the way to do it. So 2-point play, same spot in the end zone, same everything. Defensive lineman jumping in the air, but this time they didn't touch it.
Hey, Derek, can I ask you, how fitting is it that it's the two Pro Bowlers that make the huge difference there at the end of the game in the fourth when Josh Jacobs runs it in, then it's Waller catching the 2-point conversion, I guess, and all that's happened this season. Boy, just a satisfying finish with those two guys.
Yeah, that's what they do for us, and we should have more Pro Bowlers, but we didn't win enough games, if I'm being honest, I won't even begin to get into that, but I think that when we call on everybody's number when it's time, they make plays, and shout out to Zay Jones, first of all, too, for getting that thing going, because then we got the throw down there to Waller, then we got the throw down there to Theo. But, there's so many guys on our team that, really step up. But when you call, when the moment's big and those kind of things, you call your best players' numbers, and they answered for us. It was awesome. And too, we got stopped on the goal line last year, earlier in the game, So to be able to punch a run in down there is like, yeah, we did that too, So there wasn't as much improvement as we like, but there was improvement.
Darren, John Becker from the Bay Area News Group. You've been pretty effusive about Darren Waller and kind of what he's accomplished in his life and on the field. What more can you say about him after today? He breaks another record, catches a game winner, all while being banged up.
Oh, yeah, that's my guy. And just our relationship that we have and friendship that we have has been so beautiful, man. And I'm thankful to him, not just on the field, but off the field. But on the field, we've been able to have some years under our belt and grow together. And we're starting to see what can happen. So I'm not shocked that he broke the record. It was something that was on my mind. I wanted to help him get to that. I definitely wanted to see that for him because he worked so hard and what he's overcome. Anytime you have a franchise record, it's a beautiful thing. But then especially when you look at his story on how he got there, where he came from, everyone has seen his story on Hard Knocks and all that kind of stuff. But you put that into perspective of what he's been able to accomplish and overcome in his life. And I don't think there's anyone in the world that wouldn't root for the guy. He's an amazing man. I love him to death. He's a great friend, and he's a great football player. So I'm excited to continue to grow with him. It's nice to have continuity, that's for sure.
Eric, you made it a point to play through the finish line, even though there quote-unquote wasn't much to play for. It looks like your teammates did the same thing today. And how important was that, number one? And just to finish this season off on the right foot in order to move ahead to next year.
Yeah, Vinny, I've seen in my 7 years, I've seen some Raiders teams where guys tap out. I've seen it, and it may not be perfect. We may not have won 10 games this year. We may not have been in the playoffs, but there's something about this group that we're not built that way. And that stuff right there is the kind of character I've been talking about from the beginning. Why I feel it's different. Why I think. We're heading in the right direction and all those good things is the football character right there. It takes, you tear a muscle and coach says, take a couple of days for practice. No, I'm going to show up to practice when we're supposed to practice. And at whatever capacity I can be out there, I'm going to take every rep, and we have had so many guys do that. And when you do that, you show not only to your teammates, to yourself, but to the whole team, staff, everybody that we mean business and we're here for a reason. So, again, it didn't end up how we wanted, but very, very excited to see our guys fight through some stuff. Because in the NFL, you have to. Our young guys learn that on the fly and learn that the hard way. But usually, when your top players or your best players, the ones that play the most, are the ones, showing like, hey, I'll fight through something or do something like that. On any football team is what I'm saying. That's good for the whole team to look at that and see, okay, if our leaders are doing that, then we should too.
Hey, Derek, I know you're always focused on the team performance, but I'm sure you also self-evaluate in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're still in the moment right now, but how do you think you'll look back on this season for you as an individual player?
I got better, Coach Gruden and Ole and Johnny Moe really pushed me to work on some things, and those things that I'll let them talk about. We did those things better, I feel like every year under Coach Gruden I've gotten better. I felt like this was the most, honestly, if I'm being honest, this was the best I've ever played this season compared to any season. We just didn't happen to win as many games as before, so when you're trending in the right direction, that's a good thing. I feel like I'm just starting the prime, of my career athletically, physically, mentally, in the same system. So it's exciting, Sean, I'm beyond grateful to have the same coach, for year after year after year. It's kind of nice, and I wish that for all young quarterbacks in the NFL. It just doesn't happen to be the case all the time. So very excited. Still know that there's areas to improve. That won't ever change, and that doesn't change with anybody. There's always a handful of plays you go back and watch like, geez, that's terrible, Today I got baited on an interception. 22 made a great play. He faked one way. I thought he was good. I lost sight of him. I went to throw the ball. He picked the ball off. He's a good player. And that kind of stuff will eat at me, But you try and make improvements and always make sure, hey, if I need to slide to see that guy next time, then I'll slide and see him. So you're always making improvements. And whenever you stop doing that, then you should just go home because it's not going to be good after that.
Last two here, guys.
Derek, to have a 0-4 turnover margin against you and have 14 penalties in a road game and still win is remarkable, pretty remarkable. And I'm curious, what do you think it'll take for you guys to be playing your best football at the end of the season?
That's a great question, Jerry. It's probably a better question for Coach Gruden. He's the mastermind. He's our leader. But me as a team leader, it really just comes down to one. We have to stay healthy. It's hard to do in this league. Things happen, but the things that you can prevent. We always talk about in the NFL taking care of your body. There are some injuries you can prevent by taking care of your body, but you have to sacrifice going out. You have to sacrifice, going to bed early. You have to sacrifice some things to make sure you're available all the time. And so I think there's some guys on our team that are if they're still around, they're going to have to learn how to sacrifice some things because if we want to go where we want to go, you have to be able to sustain it. We've started great the last 2 seasons, Jerry. We really have. And I would say good. We've started good, but we have not finished strong. And so I can almost guarantee you from here on out, you're going to hear me talk about, we got to finish, and Coach Gruden's going to put it up in the facility. Finish. We're going to finish practice. We're going to finish everything we do. It's going to be something that has to be a point of emphasis for us. And I think when you make things point of emphasis, especially when you work at them, they get better. And so I think that's a big thing. One thing we wanted to do is be better in the red zone. Another thing we wanted to do was improve on third down. Another thing in short yardage. Another thing we wanted to improve on was coming out in the second half and scoring. And at times we did those things better, and it's a work in progress, but we feel like we're heading in the right direction. I mean, if I'm being honest, we feel like we're heading the right way. We just got a lot of work to do.
Last one, Vic.
Hey, Derek, what did you see from Bryan Edwards this year, and how big was it to have him get a touchdown in the last game today?
Oh, Vic, it was awesome. Anytime, a young guy doesn't, have a touchdown yet, and plays are being designed for you all the time, and then they happen to cover it or play it a certain way or a different way, and the ball goes somewhere else. And I know I can almost guarantee it was on his mind all year, especially going into the last game. He's probably praying like, man, can I please get one? And what the thing with Bryan is he played a lot for us early on, especially in that New England game. He had some big catches, and what I've seen in him is his work ethic. He's a very violent football player, and he's aggressive, and I love it. I love throwing the ball up to him. He was able to get a go route for a touchdown, a deep ball. Those are exciting things because I can throw him the ball different than I throw Nelly. He's more of a jump ball, contort your body, that kind of thing, kind of receiver, and violent after the catch kind of guy. And he kind of got lost behind Nelson's, breakout season. I thought Bryan was going to play a lot going into the year, but Nelson just came on so hot, and all those things. We got to pay that man and get him back. But I thought because of how well Nelly played, Bryan kind of, I wouldn't say got lost in the shuffle because we definitely didn't forget about him. But his playing reps probably went down because Nelson was out there and doing so well. So, but I think for both rookies, an offseason is going to be great for them, and I think that they're going to be really good players for our franchise going forward.
Appreciate it, Derek.
All right, thanks, guys. Happy New Year, guys.